Hello there and welcome to Really Cool Excel. Today we're going to learn about applying filters to data, so let's look at an example straight away. Here's some data we can play with. It's only a small sample, but the principles we discuss here will work on any amount of data. So what is a filter? Well, a filter allows you to display subsets of data from a longer list, which can help you to analyze data in a simple, straightforward manner. There are two places you can access filter toolbar buttons. One is on the Data tab in the Sort and Filter group, and there's a Sort and Filter button on the Home tab in the Editing group, here. Now, just to point out that the layout of your Home tab will probably be different from mine. I've moved some buttons around to help with this video. The first thing to point out is for filters to work properly, we need headings for the data, as we have here in row 1. One way to apply filters is to click on the row label 1, which highlights the whole row, then click Sort and Filter, then Filter. Now you'll see drop-down buttons have been applied to all the columns with data in them. To clear the filters, just reverse the process. Sort and filter, then switch off the filter. Another method is to click any one of the headers in row 1 and apply the filters as before, which puts the drop-downs back again. And just before we move on, I need to switch them off again, same as before, sort and filter, and uncheck. You should experiment with these different methods because if I had an extra column here, let's say for user ID, the second method where we just click one of the headers doesn't work. There's no filter on column H. If you've seen the Really Cool Excel video on sorting, you'll recognize that it doesn't work because column H is not contiguous. In other words, in a solid block with the other columns. It's separate from the rest of the data. If you want it to remain separate for any reason, but need it to have a filter like the others, then use the method where you click on the row label 1, apply the filters again, and now column H has a drop-down like the others. Now let's do some filtering. You'll see that column D contains some cities and towns in Scotland. Click the drop-down in column D and that will display all the possibilities in this column: Aberdeen, Aviemore, Edinburgh and Inverness. To filter out everything apart from Edinburgh, for example, take out the checkbox on Select All and tick the option for Edinburgh. Click OK and Excel now displays only the rows with Edinburgh in them. We haven't deleted the other data, just temporarily hidden it from view, and we can prove that by looking at the row labels. The blue ones are visible, and the gaps in the list show where rows have been filtered out. If I now want to see the Inverness data, I can change the filter by the same method, or if I want all the data back again, I can click Select All. Now, postcodes. A filter will always display all the possibilities in a column, and we have lots of different postcodes. I can filter on the IV postcode by using the Text Filters option here. Then choose a suitable option from this list, in this case, Begins With. Now we can show rows where postcode begins with IV. Click OK and the filter is applied. Aviemore is a town local to Inverness, so it also has an IV postcode. If all I want is the Aviemore data, I can add a second filter in this column just to show Aviemore. Now, I know I could just have filtered on Aviemore in the first place, but that was just to show you how you can apply secondary filters, or other levels if it gets more detailed. To clear all the filters and give us all our data back, Click Sort and Filter, then Clear. We can also filter on dates. In a column containing text, when you click the drop-down, you'll see the option for text filters. If your column contains dates, the option this time is for date filters. And date filters allow you to filter on every possible combination. In fact, there are so many that I can't display them all, so I've cheated by using screenshots. Have a look at all these options. Mind-blowing. And when you click on all dates in the period, you get even more. But sometimes you need to be really precise, so just pick the dates from here. I can decide only to filter on 2012, then only on November, then just for the 1st and the 15th. I've no idea why I might want to do that, but I can if I like. Check to make sure nothing else is selected, then click OK. So, date filters are extremely powerful. There is nothing they cannot do. In fact, it might just be the case that all we ever want to do with this data is filter on dates, so we don't actually need the drop-downs on other columns. To apply a filter to one column only, select the column label, A in this instance. The whole column is selected. Now apply the filter as normal. And we can filter by numbers too. The last column has some balance figures in it, and for this exercise let's imagine we want to see whose balance is between 2000 and 4000. Now the option is number filters, with again a variety of useful options. I'll choose between, as you would expect, and then greater than or equal to 2000 and less than or equal to 4000. This dialog box is multifunctional because all the other options can be accessed from these fields, which could be useful if you happen to change your mind once you got here. Anyway, I'll click OK, and there's the filter. We can now also filter by colour. This data has had colour applied automatically using conditional formatting, where cells are formatted automatically depending on what's in them. For more information, check out the really cool Excel videos on conditional formatting. For the purposes of this demo, I've automatically coloured any postcodes beginning EH1 in red and any beginning AB1 in green. Click the drop-down and now we have a Filter by Colour option. Click that to show the possibilities. Then click green to apply the filter. Now that's really cool. Finally, here's a way to apply the filters and choose what you want to filter on all in one go. For this, I'll clear the filters one last time. If I want to filter on Aberdeen only, right-click on any cell with Aberdeen, choose Filter, then Filter by selected cell's value. And there we go. This method does have its limitations, but for a quick and dirty, straightforward filter with no bells and whistles, that does the job just fine. So that's filters. As you have seen, the possibilities for analysing data using filters are virtually endless. So I'll leave you now to go off and experiment, and if you'd like more practice, download the associated Excel file from the website. And check out the videos on sorting and conditional formatting, which tie into filters quite nicely. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.